Yesterday, I was walking around the city and it was very hot. And I saw an antique store and it looked nice and cool in there, nice and cool. And it was so hot. I went inside and you'll never believe what I found. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English on Autopilot. And when I went into the antique store, you'll never believe what I found. I looked and I looked. On the shelves, there were all types of things: books, jewelry, everything you can imagine, dolls, old things, very old, even clothes. It was an antique store, artwork, paintings. It was amazing. But in the back of the store, I found a lamp, a beautiful lamp. On it, there were letters in Arabic, and it was an amazing looking lamp. And it was only €5. And I thought, perfect. I need this in my room for when I make videos. I can put it right here on top of the books. It's perfect. I bought it. I went back home. And when I was here at home, I realized when I looked at it, it was a little dirty. It wasn't clean. There was dust all over it. And I started to wipe off the lamp when all of a sudden, smoke started coming out from it. And I thought, oh no, what's happening? What's happening? And then the smoke turned into a human, a genie. The genie spoke to me and he said that I now have 3 wishes. At first, I didn't believe him, but then he snapped his fingers, and all of a sudden, in his hand was a ton of money. And he asked, "Do you want money?" I thought, no, I want a house on the beach. And then we were in a mansion, not a house, a mansion, which is a giant house. The genie said, "Here you are. Here's your house on the beach." And through the window, I could see the ocean and the beach, and it was beautiful. I asked the genie, "How many bedrooms is in this house?" He told me 14. 14 bedrooms. And how many bathrooms? 14 bathrooms. Wow! It was incredible. The genie told me I now have 2 wishes left. He snapped his fingers, and in his hand there were little people, a ton of little people. And he said, "Do you want to be famous? Do you want all the people in the world to know who you are?" And I thought, no, I don't want to be famous. I looked around the house and I realized how big it was. How was I going to keep this house clean? And I thought, ah, I know exactly what I want. And I asked for a robot that would clean the house for me and cook food for me and make sure everything in the house was perfect. The genie snapped his fingers, and all of a sudden, there was a robot that started to wipe the counters, that started to clean the counters. And then he started to clean the windows. And I thought, perfect, perfect. The genie told me I have one wish left. And I thought, okay, one wish, this has to be a good wish. The genie snapped his fingers, and in his hand appeared a book. And he said, do you want to know? Do I want to know everything? Do I want to be the smartest person in the world? And I thought, no, I don't want to be the smartest person in the world. I looked out the window and I saw birds flying in the air. And I knew what I wanted. I knew. I wanted to travel, but not in a plane. No, not in a plane. I wanted to be like a bird. And I told him, I want to be able to fly like a bird. The genie snapped his fingers, and all of a sudden, I lifted off the ground. My feet were not on the ground. I lifted in the air, and I started to fly. I asked the robot to open the door, and I flew out. I flew out of the house over the ocean, and I was flying over the ocean. I felt free. I felt amazing. The wind in my face, and I was flying like a bird. The genie flew next to me, and he said, goodbye, you have 0 wishes. I had no more wishes left, and there was nothing more that I could ask for. I flew and I flew. I saw my mansion, and I saw my robot cutting and mowing the lawn outside, taking care of the house just like I wished for. And then all of a sudden, I heard a noise. Hmm, very weird noise. And it kept going. And it got louder and louder. And then all of a sudden, I woke up back in my apartment. There was no lamp on top of the books. There was no lamp. It was all a dream. If you found a lamp and met a genie, what are the 3 things you would wish for? Put it in the comments below. Okay, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the story of the dream I had last night. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to keep watching videos as they come out. Everyone have a good day, good week, good weekend whenever you're watching this, and we'll see each other in the next video. Bye.